It's going to be another drag on Wisconsin's economy. We're already at the back of the pack. Continuing down this divide and conquer path is only going to keep us in the back of the pack. Instead of helping working families, the so-called leaders in this legislature can only get excited about taking away our rights and lowering our standard of living. It's wrong for all working families. It's wrong for Wisconsin. And in the long run, they're finally going to figure out that they were wrong when we sent them packing. It may take a few years, it may take more, but we won't forget. We're in this for the long haul. Are you with me? For now, we've got to stand strong. We've got to stick to our principles, and we've got to continue finding new ways to keep fighting the good fight. I know that today things look bleak. Most of the Republicans in that building are simply not listening to us. They're not listening to the majority of Wisconsin citizens who have much higher priorities than attacking union members. But you will find, just as we have found, that if you stick together and keep fighting, you will continue to make a difference for your members, for your communities, and for all of Wisconsin. So, in closing, I just want to say, AFSCME remembers that you were here with us in our hour of need 4 years ago, and we thank you.
Made up of retail and convenience stores workers, airport workers, university and college instructors, and home care workers. Just to name a few. As a fast food worker, I can tell you that $7.25 an hour is not enough to live on. But Scott Walker doesn't think we need minimum wage at all. That's a joke. Here in Wisconsin, the Fight for 15 is proud to stand with you, our union brothers and sisters, and your families to oppose the so-called right to work law. In the Fight for 15, we know what it is like to provide basic essentials for our families without a union. That's why we are fighting for our own union. We believe that the workers have the right to stick together, no matter where they work. Because if an individual wants to talk to their boss about a workplace issue, they are going to be given the time of day. But if that worker bands together with co-workers, they speak with a powerful voice and cannot be ignored. That's what it means to be in a union. All of us together can make a demand that is too powerful to be ignored or denied. That's why the Fight for 15 formed, and we're going to keep organizing until we get what we want. We all deserve the right to act together, make a difference in our workplaces and for our families. And that's why we are supporting all of you that's out here today for the Fight for 15.
Solidarity. Unity. And togetherness. All right, brothers and sisters, I rise now to introduce from the Iron Workers Union a young man who I think we're going to hear a lot of in the future, Anthony Anastasi.
future of our careers. Labor and management, working together. Our tradesmen and women chose their careers. Nobody, and I mean nobody, forced them. They choose to pay dues. It's always been that way. In return, we, collectively, yes, I said collectively, bargain with our contractors. We appreciate the labor management relationship that we have. The membership, each individual member, choose how to invest in their future with training, wages, health care, and pensions. Every man and woman has a voice. Our members take great pride in their careers. They want to continue to progress, not regress. With our wages and benefits, we invest money back into our local economy. We travel the state with our families, camping, hunting, sporting events. The list can go on and on. We, the middle class, young and old, are the driving force of our local economy. We earn the money here, we spend the money here. They are chasing families out of this state, tearing families apart. And if you haven't heard, they're already inviting contractors to the state just to the west of us.
Minnesota.
We love this once great state of Wisconsin. My oldest son, Riley, who is here with me today.
Built this country.
My other two kids are in school. In case you're wondering, my wife's one of those union thugs teaching our children. My son has had 4 teachers just over 3 years. Since Act 10 became law. 4 teachers in just over 3 years. And I'm not talking a different teacher for a different subject every year. I'm talking core class. 2 different classes. This turnover is due to many things. One of them, cutting money out of the public schools. And giving money to the private charter schools. This is devastating our communities.
Yes.
We all know the old saying, you get what you pay for.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Teachers are not in it for the fat checks.
No way.
Just a fair living wage with benefits.
Dignity.
They do it because they want to educate our youth, giving them the opportunities for their own futures. Public money belongs in public schools with local school board oversight. They're making cuts to senior care, not accepting Medicaid money, and now making cuts to the UW system. We must, and I mean we must, get out and vote.
Yes.
At the local level, mayoral, city council, school boards, county level, and state level. Just say no to AB 61. This so-called, and I mean so-called, right to work bill. It only means one thing right to work for less. I ask our assemblymen and women in this Capitol to find the courage and the strength within them to do what is right for everyone in the state of Wisconsin. Everyone. Not what is right for their personal interests
No.
or the influences from outside this state. I want you to listen to these words very closely. United, we bargain. Divided, we individually beg.
Yes.
Solidarity.
Solidarity! Unity! And togetherness! Okay, brothers and sisters, I rise to introduce my co-officer who's going to talk about what's going on under the dome today. I give you Secretary Treasurer of the Wisconsin State AFL-CIO, Stephanie Bloomingdale.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. We're still here.
We're
Still here, right? We are still here because the stakes are so high. History has called upon us to defend the middle class and keep the American dream alive. We're still here because our fight is for the state and for the soul of our country.
Yes.
We're still here because they're gutting our kids' education is wrong.
Wrong.
We're still here because, make no mistake, union busting makes our economy weaker. Unions built this middle class, and we are not going to forget it. We're here because a society that works for billionaires and leaves everyone else behind is not with the generations of Americans who worked and struggled and died before us. We know that right to work is wrong for all Wisconsin families. It's wrong for union families, and it's wrong for non-union families. It is wrong for all workers across the state of Wisconsin. And we know that Republicans inside this building who are ramming this right to work bill at rapid speed are reckless and they are cowards. That's right. They are reckless and they are cowards. They are reckless because they are ramming this legislation through without even caring that all workers will be hurt and people will have less money in their pockets. They are cowards because they have chosen to listen to their big money campaign donors instead of the thousands and thousands of people who have come here to testify, who have come here to rally, and who have come here to say no to right to work. And yes, indeed, brothers and sisters, they are cowards. They are cowards because instead of fully debating this issue during an election and during a normal session, they've chosen a sneak attack to ram the bill through, skirting democracy and justice every step of the way. And yes, they are cowards. Today we are here to stand up for democracy, to stand up for the middle class, and to stand up for union rights. So today, what are we going to do? Today the Assembly is going to be taking up the right to work bill at approximately 1:15, 1:30. When they go into that chambers, We are going to be rallying just up until then. But when we're done rallying, what we are going to do is we're going to turn around and we're all going to go into the Capitol. Are you going into the Capitol? Yeah! Are we going into the Capitol? Yeah! Are we going to bear witness on this attack on working families? Yeah! Right. So that's what we're going to do. Everybody that can fit upstairs in the 3rd West Gallery, up you go into the 3rd West Gallery, we'll take those seats. For everyone else, there will be no holding rooms. We are going to stay wherever you want to stay, but we are going to stay right there, center in that rotunda. Okay? So we're going to stay in there, and we're going to watch it on Wisconsin Eye. And all y'all got like an iPhone or an iPad, one of these things. I'm sure a lot of you do. But does anybody have one of those portable speakers? I have some, but I forgot them. But I'm going to go get them right now. If I didn't have a 15-year-old, I wouldn't know anything about this. The portable speaker. You can hook it up to your iPad. So the idea is to be in the rotunda and listening and bearing witness on what they are doing together and not in those holding rooms. So what we're going to do when this rally's over, we're going to turn around and we're going to go in to the Capitol. We're going to bear witness on this attack on working families, and we're going to stay as long as it takes. We're going to stay and we're going to watch and we're going to remember what they did to us today. And to every official casting a vote today or tomorrow, I say this. When you stand before your fellow citizens on election day, can you stand before them with a clear conscience? No! Can you say that you did the best for working people to put food on their table? Or did you cave in to outside money? Did you cowardly skirt democracy? We're here to bear witness to this day, and remember, brothers and sisters, this is the people's house. Whose house? Whose house? Whose house? Whose house? That's right. And get ready for a day of justice and democracy. Get ready to be there and bear witness. We will not give up. Standing together, we will ride out this storm. The road has never been easy. Our fathers and mothers and grandmothers and grandfathers who have fought for everything they passed on to us.
Yes.
Now it is our turn to protect and preserve our heritage. Are you ready? Yes! Now, no matter what happens in the days ahead in this building, in front of us, we will continue to educate, continue to organize in every workplace, in every city, in every town across our state. When I say, what do you want? You say, strong unions. When I say, what do you want? You say, strong unions. What do we want? 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 Strong unions. Solidarity, brothers and sisters.
I say union, you say power, union.
The labor's truck is beeping for the next speaker. A prize to give you from the labor's John Schmidt.
I was not planning on speaking today. I wasn't on the schedule, but I asked Phil if I could just say a couple words. I have no speech on me. This is coming from the heart. My name is John Schmidt, and I'm the President Business Manager of Wisconsin Labor's District Council. I want to first thank all my union brothers and sisters that came from Minnesota, from Illinois, from Michigan. Everybody that has orange on, please say cheer. I want to thank everybody else that came out here on this another balmy day in Wisconsin. You know, for this past week, I got mad, I got angry, and I got frustrated. But now, I'm just plain pissed off. That's what I am. You know, last last week I sat through these hearings with the Senate, the Assembly, gave some testimony, for hours and hours testimony. All I heard was why this bill is bad. Heard a few things on why right to work would be great for this state. We heard why it was bad. Everybody from Wisconsin talked about it. And I ask everybody, why is this bill here? I think we know why this bill is here, because it's not coming from Wisconsin, it's coming from all these groups that are bringing that in here, all this right-wing money. It's not for Wisconsin. We all need to stand together. It's going to happen, but that doesn't stop us from being what we are. We have to keep the union strong. We've heard everybody speak. All I want to tell everybody is the union is going to stay. Everybody fight union forever!
Solidarity! Pride! Power!
Solidarity! Unity! Togetherness! Our next speaker comes from Milwaukee, someone who's no stranger to working for worker justice and in her community. I give you Sheila Cochran.
Well, good afternoon. You know, when we started today, a lot of us had the opportunity to stand up at the top and watch our Native American brothers and sisters go in for their ceremony today. Today is a sacred day for them. We heard our rabbi talk about a sacred day for the Jews. And we heard our young brother talk about a friend that he lost on the job. Every year, on April the 28th, I stand in a small park in Milwaukee with a few union brothers and sisters, and we talk about the lives that were lost. And we know amongst ourselves why we organize. We don't just organize for wages. We don't always just organize for the way the boss treats us. We organize for dignity. We organize for respect. We organize for the things that we know every worker needs and wants. Nothing is like dignity on your job. Nothing is like being respected for the work that you do. We are those professionals that have built this country. This Capitol that we stand on the steps of was crafted by stone masons from a small island in Italy. They are the only ones that do that work. Trust me when I tell you, we have built this nation. Yes. My forefathers, those African slaves that came to this country, built this country. Yeah. Your forefathers, those immigrants, no matter who they were, came to this country and built this country. Yes, they did. We built the middle class and this country. Yes. Right now, we stand before a Capitol whose majority still has some of those roots, but they seemingly have forgotten where they came from. They seemingly have forgotten who put them in office. Yes. And if we don't remind them every opportunity we get on who got them where they are, who pays the wages that they sit and occupy, who pays their daily per diem when they wander back and forth from their homes, we pay. We, the taxpayers of the state of Wisconsin, we, the citizens of all of these places, we do. This is our house. It is time that we acted like it was our house. I watched hours and hours of testimony. I watched it for the Senate Labor Committee. I watched it for the Representative Labor Committee. Not one time did I hear anyone really having any exchange that even implied that they were hearing all of the citizens that came before them to talk to them. Unless, excuse me, it was one of those paid-for voices. Paid-for voices. We right now, have one of the best bought and paid Republican governors, senators, and assembly people that money can buy. Now, we can't touch the money, but you know what? We got a vote, and we got a voice. And that gummit, the next time we ask you to vote, I hope you remember this cold day, because it'll be a cold day somewhere else if you don't. Now is the time, my brothers and sisters, right now. So when we're done and we pay our respects to each other, please do what Stephanie said. Occupy that gallery. Make sure you stand as long as you can. We need to hear what they're going to say. And if you can, stream it. Watch it. And for God's sake, don't ever forget it. Solidarity, my brothers.
Solidarity! Unity! And togetherness. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I want to thank you all for coming out on this great Wisconsin day to make a statement, to be here, to bear witness to what happens here and make sure we take that message back to our workplaces and our community. But most important, we're sending a message. We're still here and we're standing strong, right? And it is beautiful to see workers from all different sectors here, to see citizens young and old, union and non-union, standing together for justice, standing together for democracy, and standing together for a better future for all of Wisconsin. And it's important that we are here today as the Assembly debate on this attack on workers takes place. Once again, we're here to bear witness. It is important that we are here today to let those legislators know inside that building that we are watching, that we are standing in opposition to this bill. It is important we participate in democracy, that we force our representatives to hear our voices, to hear the cries of the people, and let them know that we will remember, right? Citizens, young and old, union and non-union, came out to provide hours and hours of testimony against the so-called right-to-work legislation. Worker testimony in opposition to the bill dominated both hearings. In fact, 8 of the 12 hours in the Senate hearings were filled only with working people speaking out against this bill. Proponents of the bill were hard to find. But despite the overwhelming outcry from citizens in the Capitol and in the communities to kill the bill, or at least slow it down, the right-to-work bill is moving forward at alarming speed. We know we may not be able to stop this bill, but we're making our voices heard. We are not the special interests that are driving this bill, right? We are the folks that are fighting for decent wages, for benefits, for strong communities, for safety, for a voice in a community. That is not a special interest. That is the will of the people. Citizens have been coming to their capital to express their voice for generations, brothers and sisters. That's what they call democracy. This is democracy, and what you're all part of is a movement. This is a movement built on the fundamental principles of fairness and justice for all working people. So we might not win them all, but we need to put up a hell of a fight and move forward together in solidarity, to fight for a new day, to continue helping working families, because history is on our side.
Yes, it is.
We move on stronger and wiser than ever before, but we move on together and in solidarity. Make no mistake, this is an attempt to drive down real Wisconsin worker wages.
Yes, it is.
Make no mistake, this is an attempt to tip the scales away from workers' rights. Make no mistake, this will impact every single Wisconsinite and every single Wisconsin community across the state. Right to Work backers should be focusing on creating good jobs with family supporting wages, working on healthy communities instead of playing political games and listening to the out-of-state special interests with this unnecessary legislation. Making Right to Work in Wisconsin will not create jobs. Claimed advantages of Right to Work are unproven. Nationally recognized economists agree Right to Work provides no economic advantage. By lowering wages, Right to Work would weaken consumer spending and undermine Wisconsin's small businesses, which depend on workers having wages to spend. Even employers have joined with us to say Right to Work is not good for Wisconsin. We've heard from a broad coalition speaking out to say Right to Work is wrong for Wisconsin. We heard from workers, we heard from nuns, we heard from business owners, we heard from community leaders. All these people have joined together to say not for Wisconsin, not for our state, but our legislators are not listening to the citizens of the state. They are listening to out-of-state special interests, and that is wrong for Wisconsin, right? So it seems that they are not listening inside this building. You gotta wonder if they can hear us. Are they even aware of how democracy works? You're supposed to listen to the voice of the people. That's democracy. Free assembly, expressing your views, talking about your issues, trying to find some way to help people up, not suppress their rights. That's the Wisconsin way, and that's how democracy is supposed to work, right? But that's not what we're seeing. That's not what we're feeling from this legislature. Brothers and sisters, the day is not done. The fight is far from over. And as we look into the future, we need everybody statewide to bear witness to what's happening here today. And if somebody's not here, it's up to you, to all of us, to take that message out to our communities and explain to them what's happening to Wisconsin. What's happening to Wisconsin? That's what we got to explain. So we need to pack the gallery. We need to stay. We need to participate. We need to be there. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? Are you with your brothers and sisters? Are we together? So will you join me? Will you join me to organize into the future? And tomorrow we need to continue to organize, and the day after that, and the day after that. We need to continue to educate, organize stronger together, educate, organize stronger together. Brothers and sisters, let's remind people that this is democracy, and this is what democracy looks like, right? So we know we need to build strong coalitions in our community. We need to build strong local unions in our workplaces. We need to reach across and join hands with each other. We're together. We're workers indivisible. Standing up for our rights. Standing up for our brothers and sisters' rights. Standing up for everybody's rights in our community. Right to Work backers talk about freedom, but they deny workers freedom every chance they get. Moving workers into part-time positions isn't about freedom. Offshore profits and shipping jobs to countries with subpar working conditions, that isn't about freedom. Trying to erode worker health and safety laws so that our workplaces become more dangerous and our air quality is like China. Well, that isn't like freedom either. Freedom is about being able to make a fair day's pay for a fair day's work, right? Freedom is about having a strong voice, a democracy in the workplace, right? Freedom is about being able to retire with dignity after a lifetime of hard work, right? Freedom is being here, making our voices heard, and participating in the democratic process. Freedom is about standing up for union rights, right? Standing up for safe workplaces. That's what freedom is about. Solidarity, brothers and sisters. And as we move forward to a better day for Wisconsin, a better tomorrow for workers, and a new day in the movement, solidarity, unity, and togetherness. Thank you so much.